So this is our Mazda 3. It's a 2011, and I wanted to show you how to replace the spark plugs. I always try and take a look at what's underneath before I get started, and I wanted to show you how to take this cover off, so I wanted to make sure I knew how. And sure enough, as soon as I did, I found a mouse nest underneath, and I'm going to show you a picture of that right here. Lovely, isn't it? So if you look at the manual, or you can go online and get the service intervals for your Mazda. Typically there's two schedules, one for we'll just call it city driving, and one called highway driving. And city driving, they want you to change some things sooner. It turns out that the spark plugs are the same either way, but mine's at 63, so and I noticed a little bit of a hesitation, so I'm going to start there and show you how it's done. So they have changed a few things over the years, the shape of this and whatnot, but essentially it's the same. It pops off. In some cases it slides off. This one pops off. And you don't need to take the dipstick out or anything like that. So we'll start by just getting our hands under this lip right here, under that lip, and then it pops up. And then the front's pretty much the same, and it's good and sturdy in there. So, and you'll see my insulation's falling off again, thanks to those mice. You'll see right there's a post, there's a post, and then there's clips on the cover, and I can't see them. They go onto these posts right here. So we'll start by taking off the fasteners that hold these down. These are the ignition coils. They each have a connector, and these posts that hold the cover on, they'll use something slightly different. But we're going to go with it's an 8mm. I'm going to use the deep well because you got that post sticking up. Should loosen up pretty easily. So now that we've got that stud and nut out of there, all you have to do is just pull this up real gently, and that's the boot for the spark plug. And let me give you a look inside. So they do make metric spark plug sockets. This one is a 5/8, however, but it's very close in size and it will do the job. In addition, it's pretty deep in there, so we're going to use an extension as well. And the first thing I want to do is just take this, not on the socket wrench, and just get it in there and make sure that it's seated on there. And then just nice and easy. And just nice and easy. Oh, pretty tight. Alright, so you can feel that it's out, and the socket will hold that in place so you can pick it out. And the lead there is a little rusty, a little burnt, but really it's not that bad. Okay, so if you've never done this before, or even if you have, I wanted to show you the difference between the new and the old, just to demonstrate some conditions. The primary cause of dry fouling is incorrect fuel and air mixture, typically rich, and that there's other causes, but that's the primary one. And the fix for that is usually replacing your air filter. That's the majority of the cause of this. There's also wet fouling, and that's what it sounds like. It has oil or a lot of gas on here. And when you have oil, that's typically a bad head gasket. But the big thing to show you, of course, is gapping the spark plug. If you've never done it before, or if you have, this in the center is the center electrode. See if I can get you closer. Woo! That's the center electrode, the one that's coming up in the middle, and then this is what they call the grounding electrode. And the gapping is setting the distance between those two so that the spark arcs at the right distance. Now, again, if you look at this really closely, you're going to see that this it's an NGK iridium spark plug, which is what you want. But you can see how fine that tip is. So that's kind of, you don't want to break that. And if you use one like this, you use a gapping tool like this, this actually goes through here and presses on it. And that's going to be dangerous for that tip. So what you need is a set of feeler gauges. So, and I'll show you how. For the Mazda 3, many of the years, I think it's 2004 to 2020 or something, the gap is 0.052. Now, your car may be different. If it's not a Mazda, all you have to do is go to your spark plug vendor's website, look up what plugs fit, identify the one that you have, and it'll tell you right there what the gap should be. So, if you can see, the feeler gauges are marked with their different sizes. They don't go in order, only because it makes it easier to fan these out. So what I'm going to do, I have another set that works better. This set has a dial on it, a screw on it, so that you can loosen it up. That makes it easier to page through these and see which one you're doing. So I'm going to quick find the 052 and we'll start up again. I didn't want to have you sit there and watch me read through these feeler gauges. So this is another thing that's nice about this set, having the screw, and you can basically take these out. Now the reason in this case is this one does have a dial on it showing the different sizes, and you crank it up to what size you need. This set didn't have something that big, so all you need to do is find two of them and put them together. For instance, the .03 and the .022. So anyway, then we put them together. To get the size that we need. Okay, so we take the two feeler gauges together and we try and fit them between the two electrodes. And you'll see that they don't fit. So that's where you get your other helpful tool. You can use a pliers, but these are like a needle nose, but these work really well. So we're going to have to open that gap. So to do that, we take this, we put it in there, and if you see, get a little hook more there. So you can see that, and you take it, butterfingers, and you pry the gap open more. Okay? And we'll check the feeler gauges again. You want this just to have a little bit of drag. And we're still not there. We'll open it up some more. Just watch yourself on the center electrode. again. So now, so it should go back just a touch. So what I like to do is just tap it just gently on the table. Especially when you're trying to adjust it back just a hair. Okay. And you'll feel it like I'm feeling right now. There's just, you can probably see that too, because I'm trying to put it through here and it just snags up a little bit. And this allows you to do it more gently than if you were using that other. So got to do that for all four. You'll get quick at it. So let's put this one back in. So you'll see that I'm wearing gloves because of this. It's your anti-seize, which is awesome stuff, but it is somewhat insidious, getting everywhere. Once you touch this thing, don't touch anything else until you take the gloves off, because you touch yourself even a little bit, or wash your hands on the towel and it'll start getting, like, all of a sudden you'll see silver everywhere. So now what we're going to do is take it on a Q-tip and just put a little bit around it and spread it around somewhere in the middle of the threads. Okay? Now throw that Q-tip away because you don't want it getting on anything. Did I mention that? So now you've got this anti-seized. That's the other thing about anti-seized. It's high heat, so it has good property of resisting in this situation. So we want to get that in the socket, push it all the way down. Don't do what I almost did, press down on the electrode. And then, see, that's holding it in. Whoop. That's holding it in so it won't fall out. And we'll go straight down in there, nice and slow. Okay, until it sets. Now the first thing you want to do is turn backwards. And you'll feel the thread. You'll feel it click a little bit. And then you know that you're straight in. However, you still got to be careful. So then you can see that? I must have moved. Okay, so we just got to get it snugged in. Found it. And then we're going to torque it. And the torque spec is 8 to 10 foot-pounds. Or if you have an inch-pound torque wrench, it's about 120 inch-pounds. If you don't have a torque wrench, you can get one from Beijing Freight relatively inexpensively, and you'll use it on other things. So, and then one of the reasons I chose to go at the top end is because we're using the extension, and extension will actually reduce the torque just a touch. So otherwise I think I would have gone for 9 foot-pounds or about 110 inch-pounds. So let's make sure we're going the right direction. Okay, so then all you need to do is just pull on it until the handle clicks. See that? So we were pretty close with just, snugging it a little bit. So the next step is to use dielectric grease. Dielectric means doesn't conduct. So why would we be putting it in here? We're only putting it in the boot because dielectric grease makes a nice insulator and it prevents moisture from getting in there. So just take a little bit. Don't want too much, so we'll just roll the Q-tip. And then we'll go in the boot, about maybe like an inch down. We swirl around, start pulling it up. Okay. And now you've got that done. We can put the boot back on. Just kind of line it up as you go down there. And then when you get it down onto the threads, it's basically all the way. And then we'll put the mounting bolt back in. Now, I would love to torque this, but I simply couldn't find a torque setting, so we're just gonna snug it up. With a smaller bolt, it's not gonna have as high of a torque setting. That's a general rule, so I'm just gonna snug that up. And now we've got it back in. So lastly, every other spark plug is going to be the same. So with the exception of this one, which has the plastic cap on for holding down the cover, but this is a 15, and just take that. I had this off before, so it went really easy. And this actually pulls the whole stud out. This plastic piece is holding that in. Like so. And that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions or things you want to add to this, please leave a comment. And thank you.